I still love that show open. Welcome to First Take, everyone. I'm Carrie Champion, sitting next to Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. Gentlemen, how are you?
How are you?
Oh. I'm about to unleash.
I need you to come up with a different word than unleash.
No,
maybe the fact
it's
that
time.
you keep saying unleash is why they haven't unleashed.
Yeah, maybe it is. I got to do this before we get down to business here.
Business.
Yeah.
All right, you guys are ready, I see. You're seething. All right, let's get it started. Embrace debate, everyone. The Texans beat the Jets 23-17 last night on Monday Night Football to move to 5-0, but the Jets kept it close. The Jets even had a chance to take the lead with less than 2 minutes remaining. But Sanchez's pass was tipped and intercepted, ending a potential game-winning drive. Should the Jets be encouraged or discouraged? I'm going to start with you, Skip. Should they be encouraged or discouraged?
I need the stage. I need the floor. I have a statement to make.
Hurry up.
Stephen A.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hurry up.
Ahead.
Oh, I'm done.
No, I'm not going to rush you. I'm not going to rush you. Go ahead.
I guess they probably are encouraged by the fool's gold of a moral victory, a 23-17 loss to the mighty Houston Texans, who didn't look that mighty to me last night.
They did not.
Right?
But go ahead.
But if Rex Ryan had had the vision and the guts to start Tim Tebow in the second half, the Jets would have won that game, turned around their season, and just maybe started saving Rex Ryan's job, because that game was begging for Tim Tebow to win that game. And what did we see in the first quarter in the second series? Lo and behold, I was on the phone with my good friend Stephen A. Smith, and we saw this play happen. They let Tim Tebow try a rare pass, and what happened? He threw it right on the button.
Yes, he did.
Straight down the seam, and he hits Jason Hill right in the... Oh, it hit him in the face mask, and it was incomplete. And I could hear the groan all the way back to Bristol from that crowd.
Was it his face mask or was it his hand? I thought it was right in the palm of his hand. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Jason Hill. It has come to this. Jason Hill. Who is Jason Hill?
What's his name?
Do you realize that stadium would have gone over the moon if Jason Hill had hung on to that bomb from Tim Tebow? But I can now make a case that the 100-yard kickoff return by Joe McKnight with 4:38 left in the third quarter actually saved the game for the Houston Texans. Here it is. Boom, all of a sudden, oh, we have hope. It's now 20-14 Texans, and all of a sudden, Rex was able to delude himself into still sticking with what's left of Mark Sanchez for the rest of the game. But Stephen A., how about the play early in the fourth quarter? It's 1st and 10 at the Texans 16. Here comes Tebow for another rare play, and what happens? 13 yards. Can we see that? 13 yards happen right up the gut, all the way to the 3-yard line. Look at this. That's a force of competitive nature. He's up. The crowd's up. So on the next play, 1st and goal. Tebow tries again. He gets 0 yards. And what happens? Sanchez happens again. He comes back in and he throws another incomplete and another incomplete, and they settle for a field goal. Even you will admit that last year we saw again and again that inside the 3-yard line, Tim Tebow is virtually unstoppable. There's nothing like him in pro football inside the 3-yard line. Just give it to him 2 more times. I promise you he would get the touchdown instead of the field goal.
Let me interject because I want to come back to you. Okay? But I want to interject by saying this. I disagree with you on this premise. The Texans did not look like the formidable best team in the AFC that I thought they looked like heading into last night's game. I thought they were exposed in their secondary. I counted at least 3 dropped balls. At least 3 dropped balls for Sanchez. One of those interceptions was a pass. It should have been caught. It was dropped. Ultimately, it comes down to this. I do understand Sanchez was not great, but he looked better than these numbers indicate. 14 of 31 for 230 yards. I'm sorry, with the 2 interceptions, I don't think his numbers were that bad. There were dropped passes. If the Houston Texans hadn't showed the weaknesses that they showed with their secondary, the ability to be exposed. I mean, I must admit, I'm on the phone with you. I mean, it couldn't have happened at worse, because Skip is absolutely right. We were on the phone together, and I was like, whoa. What?
What?
I mean, it was. I said, "Oh, that was a good pass by Tim Tebow."
You did.
That was
you admitted it.
Right on the phone. I was
really
like this. I couldn't believe it. Skip was like, "I can't believe I'm on the phone with you. I just missed that. I can't believe I just missed that." I said, "Listen, you didn't miss the play. You just saw it. But it was a perfect pass by Tim Tebow. That was flat out
dropped. Relish it. I couldn't embrace the play.
Exactly.
Because I was talking to you.
Well,
you did it to me.
Did you not
you took away the one moment of joy.
Did you not ask me to call you at that particular time? You didn't ask me to call you. You didn't ask me to call you later. You told me to call you then. So that's your fault. But the point that I'm trying to make to you is the bottom line is that the passes were dropped. And so for me, that's why I didn't have as much of a problem. Don't get me wrong. The pass by Tim Tebow shocked me. The 13-yard run did not. And even though he got 0 yards, I really felt that Rex Ryan should have stuck with him. They're in the red zone. See what he's got. See if he can finish the deal for you. Don't pull him out of the game at that particular moment in time. So I agree with you in that. I just don't necessarily believe that with the way that the Houston Texans secondary got exposed last night to some degree, I don't necessarily believe that that was the time for Tebow. But I do believe he should have been kept in when they were in the red zone.
Stephen A.
Sure.
Mark Sanchez has turned into this hard luck nightmare to watch. It's Murphy's Law. It's now Mark's Law.
Yes, sir.
What can go wrong will go wrong. Right. Balls are going to go off people's hands.
Okay.
He's going to be a little bit off here, 6 inches here, ball tips up. Oh, it's another. He has 2 tipped interceptions. Every pass is just a little bit here, a little bit there. Tebow coming in and haunting him. He gets out of. I feel sorry for the guy, but it's a disaster what's happening to Mark Sanchez. They played well enough on defense. They shocked me. They played pretty well.
Yes.
I mean, what shot?
I couldn't believe. Let me tell you something.
Shots 14 to 28
to me, what I would say about last night's performance by their defense ensured that whether it's Mike Pettin, the defensive coordinator, or Rex Ryan himself, they're going to have a job coaching defense in this NFL for years and years to come.
No
I mean, I couldn't believe how good the Jets defense, and Antonio Cromartie, let's give him some kudos. I mean, he balled last night.
But Stephen A., are you encouraged or discouraged? You didn't answer that
question.
Well,
listen, I mean, when you talk about discouraged, what I'm discouraged by is 2 things. I'm discouraged by their usage of Tebow because Sperano and Rex Ryan, to me, they have some explaining to do. And I'm definitely discouraged by Mike Tannenbaum because you lose Santonio Holmes. Who do you go out and get? This guy Hill. What does he do? He comes in and he drops a pass from Tim Tebow. I mean, where do you find these guys? Every move that they seem to make offensively seems to come up short. And I'm incredibly disappointed at the job that Mike Tannenbaum has done as it pertains to this offense.
Yeah.
As it pertains to this offense.
Hey, Sperano is turning into a very offensive coordinator. I think he has no clue how to run the offense or how to use Tim
You mean an offensive coordinator?
He's offensive. you know what? It's like in between plays, it's like a miniature car opens up on the sideline and clowns jump out and run on the field. Like it's just helter-skelter of clowns running in and running out. Sanchez has no idea what to do. The clock is ticking down. The play clock almost always runs out. And all of a sudden, do we have this other play mid-4th quarter? He's got Tim Tebow in the game for one other play in the 4th quarter, and they still have a chance to win the game. Do you remember this? He has him run the college pitch option off the shotgun snap.
I don't understand.
It's just stupid. Tebow can't run that play. That's not what he does. Well, what are you doing, Sperano? Seriously, that's laughable to me. It's embarrassing for the Jets. It's embarrassing to Tim Tebow. Did you see any of the shotgun spread where he fakes it to Sean Green, steps back and throws it? And even Gruden kept saying, he could throw it here. He could throw it. Yeah, he could, but they won't let him. They're running the dumb wildcat plays with people flying across his face and he's doing his face. It's stupid. Again, it's time to unleash Tebow, which leads us to our next question.
Speaking of, let's look ahead. The Jets take on the Colts Sunday at home. So it must be asked, as we just talked about, is it time for Tim Tebow or is it still Mark Sanchez? I'll give it to you, Stephen A.
You know,
I think I just talked you into Tebow.
You know what? It's not,
I'm seeing it in your face.
It's not so much that you talked me into Tim Tebow. Again, I predicted that he should start by week 6. What do you have to lose? You are going up against the Indianapolis Colts. I just don't believe that last night is the reason why. I think that when you look at Mark Sanchez, like if you want to sit there and say it's Mark's law as opposed to Murphy's law, what can go wrong will, that's a plausible argument because it does seem to be the case, okay? But because I'm looking at balls that should have been caught. there's a couple of weeks that there were balls that should have been caught by Mark Sanchez. His touchdown pass to Cumberland was a big-time pass, and Mark Sanchez can throw the football when you give him time. If you have a secondary that is suspect, I say you leave Mark Sanchez in the game and you exploit that if you are the New York Jets. But if you don't have any weapons offensively because guys are dropping passes, or you run into a stout secondary, then to me it is clear that you should put Tebow in the game. What I will say is that for me, more importantly than anything else, getting back and piggybacking to your point of Mark's law, it's really not debatable for me. I'm in no strong position to debate that because it just seems to me like things snowball offensively for the Jets. Something always seems to go wrong at the most inopportune time. And you brought Tebow here. Use the dude. I mean, clearly you are misusing him. Sperano is embarrassing himself with the way that he is using him. Rex Ryan is embarrassing himself by allowing Sperano to use Tim Tebow the way that they have been using him. At some point in time, you got to stand up and make the decision that, okay, we're going to roll the dice and take this chance. And in Seattle, if you've got Pete Carroll that can make the decision after signing Matt Flynn about $10 million in guarantees, that I'm going to put a rookie in and see what he's got.
Same deal.
And if you're the New York Jets, even though you're going to owe, even though you're paying Mark Sanchez $11.25 million now, even though you're going to owe him $8.25 million for next season, you might need to roll the dice. I am of the mindset, and I am clear. Let me just say this for the record. Last night's fantastic pass to Hill, notwithstanding. I do not believe that Tim Tebow can throw the football.
We know that.
You know this.
Tim can't throw. That's his name. Tim
can't throw, as opposed to Tim Tebow. Tim can't throw. I like that. I'm going to use that from now on. Tim can't throw. Tim can't throw, okay? Tim can't throw. So for me, what you do is you roll the dice, take the chance, get it over with once and for all. Because if Tim Tebow is awful, then we would move on from the Tim Tebow era and Mark Sanchez can live in peace. If he's good, and if he's better for the Jets than Sanchez, then you know you need to move in a different direction. But one way or another, it is time for the decision to be made.
What do you think the owner, Woody Johnson, is whispering behind closed doors?
I think he wants Tebow in the game.
Thank you.
I think he wants to see what he's got.
Yep, I think you're
exactly right. And I think he's losing faith, and I have no, this is not sourced or anything like that. I do not know. But I would surmise, based on what he's seeing and based on his comments recently, I think he's losing faith in Mike Tannenbaum.
I agree with you. And maybe, in turn, in the head coach.
Yeah, again, if the head coach continues to allow his stubborn tendencies to usurp everything else.
Just out of my mouth.
There we go.
I was going to say, Rex, stubborn to a fault. Always has been. His father was stubborn to a fault.
Yes.
He inherited that, right?
Yes.
I think Rex, there's no way he wants to start Tim Tebow. I think he must start Tim Tebow to save what's left of the season. I'm going to say it again. And maybe ultimately save his own skin here. Because Mark Sanchez, whatever you want to call it, snake bitten, haunted by Tim Tebow, he is, as I keep saying, he is a brain-locked basket case, Stephen A. Do you realize his offense has now scored 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games?
That's right.
3 touchdowns in 4 games?
That's right.
Are you kidding me? And check this out. His completion percentage for the year now is 48%.
Yes.
The lowest.
That's Tebow-like.
Listen to this, but listen to this. The lowest through a team's first 5 games since Jamarcus Russell in 2009.
Jabba the Hutt, Russell?
Jabba the Hutt.
Are you kidding me?
Lowest since 2009 through a team's first 5 games, because obviously Tebow didn't start the first 5 games.
Let me say this to you. I'm on the record. I want to stay on the record. And you know me. This is America.
I hope you're on the record because we're on TV.
That's right. This is America. It's the land of second chances.
Yep.
I firmly believe that. I try to, be nice to people. But I'm going to tell you something right now. When it comes to Jamarcus Russell, former #1 overall pick that played for the Oakland Raiders and just abandoned teammates, didn't work hard, didn't do anything. He just looked like a blob, okay? That's why I call him Jabba the Hutt, Jamarcus Russell, okay? Now, I'm telling you right now, any quarterback in the modern era who is compared to Jamarcus Jabba the Hutt Russell, you got problems.
Well, you got problems.
You got problems.
I would agree. And even though Sanchez every once in a while will complete a pass that makes you sit back and say, wow, that was really good. In the big picture, you can't use Tim Tebow for a play here and a play there because it wrecks both quarterbacks. It's not Tebow, not what he does, and it really messes with the psyche of Mark Sanchez. He's a basket case. Tim Tebow is a momentum playmaker. We saw it last year. You have to at least give him full series. I think you should give him a full start.
We don't even need to debate this. I truly believe in my heart, had Tim Tebow been left in the game in that series, that the New York Jets, he would have scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
So you guys are both in agreement.
He should
that Tim Tebow should start.
He should have, at the very least, he should have been left in the game.
Okay. And at the very least, he should start against the Indianapolis Colts at home this Sunday.
Okay, I agree.
And if you want to say get it over with, I say get it started.
Are you saying
get it started?
Get it started, get it over with.
There we go.
But he should be in the game.
He should be in the game. He should start the game Sunday.
Right?
I do agree. I mean, especially last night. I definitely thought he should have stayed in the game. It didn't make sense.
I like this. I like this woman.
Listen, it just makes sense. I'm just speaking the truth, people. All right, let's head to the Call of Duty green room.